Midtown studios of Bloomberg Television in New York City, this is Charlie Rose.
A truck bomb exploded yesterday outside an apartment complex in Saudi Arabia that housed U.S. Army and Air Force personnel. 19 Americans were killed and at least 300 wounded. It was the worst terrorist attack involving Americans in the Middle East since the 1983 barracks bombing in Beirut. Let me go to Washington. Joining us from Washington, Adil Al-Jabir. He's a spokesman with the Saudi embassy there in Washington. Also, former Secretary of State Lawrence Eagleberger. Mr. Al-Jabir, tell me what we know at this moment about who might have done this. There have been reports today about perhaps at least one of the people who seemed to be involved in carrying out this terrorist act, might have been identified. Can you tell us what you know?
Well, we know that both individuals who were in the truck were seen, but we really don't know who they are yet, nor why they did it. And I think it would be too early to speculate because we leave every option open.
Do you have some sense of who? Can you tell us who they might be, who they might represent?
No, Charles. I don't think we're in that position yet. It's still very early. We're still in the midst of an investigation. We're still coordinating with the team that came from the FBI, and any information that we would give out at this time would simply be speculation.
Let me try one more thing, and the answer may be the same. Have there been within Saudi Arabia concern since November of this kind of terrorist attack, and was enough security measures taken in response to those rumors of another hit?
Right. There's every time you have threats that are made, you take them seriously because we live in a dangerous neighborhood. We've been fortunate in having a lot of stability in our country, but we see what goes on around us. We see what goes on in Israel. We see what goes on in Egypt, Algeria, and we know what determined individuals are capable of doing. And so there's always a sense of heightened alerts. And after the explosion in Riyadh in November, of course, we increased security even more. And we thought that it was foolproof, but I don't believe that anyone can establish a fail-proof system, regardless of how hard we try.
Do you think it'll destabilize the regime?
I don't think so. I think there's great resilience in the regime. And we will work very closely with them, I'm sure, in the investigation. It's in our mutual interest to do so. But I don't think this is going to lead to any great upheaval.
Let me, Mr. Al-Jabir, what concerns you about this? Does it somehow destabilize the regime to a small degree?
I don't think it has anything to do with the stability of the regime. I think what it is directed at is the strong U.S.-Saudi military relationship, and I don't think that this act will succeed in any way in weakening it, because it's very important to both countries. It's a relationship that's entered into voluntarily because of national interests. It's a relationship that's accepted by both publics, and I think the overwhelming majority of people in Saudi Arabia support the presence of American troops. After all, it was the U.S. that came to our aid in 1990. We don't forget that, and most Saudis don't. And I believe that if these individuals who perpetrated this crime, this murderers, if I may call them that, had the ability to influence the Saudi public by other means, they would have tried it. But because they couldn't, they went to desperate means.